Guys, remember that the test is on Friday, and it's going to be very similar like CBQ 3.1. These problems that we're doing today, the ones that we're going to review today, are the ones that most people missed when we took the CBQ 3.1. So I have to try to do it a different way so that you can learn how to do it and so that you don't get it wrong on the test. Okay, first of all, you need to memorize the slope man. Right? You need to memorize the slope man. If it's going up, it's positive. If it's coming down, it's negative. If it's straight up and down, that's undefined. This U right here is for undefined, and this flat line is 0. These little circles, those are zeros. That's 0 slope. So when problem number 5, this was one that you guys missed on 3.1, what is the equation of a line with undefined slope? That means it needs to be like this. So you're writing this on your notes. Go ahead and write it on number 5. It's going to be up and down line, undefined like this, and goes through the point -3,5. So we can type all of these equations in Desmos, and we can type this point. It needs to look like this, undefined, and it needs to go through that point. So the point has to be on the line, okay? So we're going to go ahead and type this in Desmos. Right here, parentheses, -3,5. Okay, so it needs to go through that line. Through that point. The equations are x equals -3, x equals 5, y equals -3, y equals 5. So I'm going to type x equals -3. And that's it. That's your equation. X equals 5 doesn't work. It doesn't pass through the point. Y equals -3 doesn't go through the point, and this is 0 slope, right? It's a flat line. And y equals 5 does go through the point, but that's 0 slope. Okay, so you have to know the difference between 0 slope and undefined slope. Okay? You can always look on the wall. The slope man is on the wall. Let's go to the next problem. So this answer was x equals -3. The next problem that most of you missed. So both of these are almost the same, right? They're both asking for the slope. And I have told you how to find slope. I told you that the formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? I told you that. I told you subtract the y's, subtract the x's, and divide. So instead of using this formula, we're not going to use it. We're going to use this formula. Write it down. y1 approximately mx1 plus b. This is a 1. This is a 1. We're going to use that formula because we are looking for the slope. M is your slope, so it's going to give us the slope, right? So we're going to put this in a table, and we're going to put this in a table in a little bit. So let's do this one first. Put it in a table. X, Y. 5, -11, and -9, 17. Put that in Desmos. Put that table in Desmos. We're going to add a table. So I'm going to erase everything. Add a table. What's the first number here? 5. What's the second number? What's my y? -11. Oops, too much 11s. What's my next x? -9. And what's my y? 17. 17. Okay. Once you add the table, then right here underneath it, you're going to type Y1 approximately. Remember this little button's in your keyboard too. It's in the keyboard. Approximately. MX1 plus B. Okay? Because it's going to give me the equation, but it's also going to give me the slope. Look at the slope right here. M equals -2. Easy. Super easy. M equals -2. Okay? This next one, add the table. You don't have to change anything in decimals. You can just change the numbers. This is 26 and 7. 26 and 7. And -39 and 12. So 26 and 7. So right here, I'm just going to change this to a 26. I'm going to change this to a 7. What's this number? -39. And what's this number? 12. Okay, so guess what? My equation already changed. This is my slope, right? But I know it's a fraction, so I'm going to go look. It's a negative decimal. So my answer has to be a negative decimal, not a positive, right? So now I'm left with a negative fraction or a -13. It's not going to be the -13. Let's try -1/13 in decimals right here. -1 divided by 13. It gives me the same thing. Okay? So that's my slope. My answer is A. All right? So I need you to be using that formula from now on. Okay, the next problems that were the most missed. I'm going to do this one first. I don't know why you guys missed this. So you type this point, you type this point, and you type all of the answer choices. All of them. And see which one goes through both points. So it's going to look something like this, right? With 2 points on the line. That's what I'm looking for. So you need to add the points in decimals, add all the equations in decimals, and see which one goes through both points. Okay? So you guys are going to do that by yourself in just a little bit. This one. This is the one where you have to solve. Okay? This is the one where you have to solve. So we're going to use something called MDR. It's on my wall. It's in the supplemental aids. MDR means move, divide, reduce. So we're going to move the 5x over. We're going to change the sign, minus 5x. That's move. Okay? Then we're going to divide. D is for divide. And you better be writing this down. We're going to divide everything by whatever is in front of the y. So it can cancel. And then the last, the R is reduce. Y equals 24 divided by -12 in decimals. 24 divided by -12. -2. And then -5 divided by -12 in decimals. -5 divided by -12. Hit the fraction button. It's 5/12. Positive. positive 5 over 12. So positive 5 over 12x. Which one's the slope? 5 over 12 is the slope because it's with the x. So my answer is D. That's the only one that you really have to do some work for. The other ones you really don't have to do much work. You can just put it in decimals. So go ahead and pause the video. I want you to put this point in decimals, this point in decimals, and all of the equations in decimals. Go. Okay, so I'm not going to give you the answer to number 13. You guys have to do it by yourself. That's why I said pause the video. The next two are almost the same. They're both talking about direct variation, varies directly. Okay? Proportional. That means we're going to make a table for both of them. Make a table, x, y, and put what they gave you in there. Put what they gave you in there. So it says x is 3, y is 21. So 3, 21. Right? Then it says, what is the value of x when y is 105? So y is 105. I'm looking for x. Write it down. Write it down. 12, same thing. It says y is 35, x is 140. So x is 140, y is 35. What is the value of y when x is 70? So x is 70, and they're looking for y. Who remembers how to do this? What do I do? Cross multiply. The butterfly, cross multiply and divide. Cross multiply and divide. Okay, so I'm going to multiply these two numbers. 3 times 105 and then divide by the other one. Multiply these two numbers and then divide by the other one. Pause the video and do that right now in decimal. So we're multiplying 3 times 105. 3 times 105. That answer, you're going to divide by 21. So 315 divided by 21. That's your answer. Okay? Same thing with the other one. Because this is really what you're doing. You're multiplying these two. That gives you 315. You're multiplying these two. That gives you 21x. So you have to divide by 21 on both sides. That's really what we're doing. Because we're solving for x. So x equals 15. Okay, multiply these two. 70 times 35. 70 times 35. And then that number, you're dividing by 140. So your answer is 17.5. Okay, 17.5 was the answer. When you multiply these two, that gave you 2,450. When you multiply these two, that gives you 140y. So you divide both sides by 140. So it can cancel. And that gives you y equals 17.5. Okay, so now you guys are going to do the quizzes. That's going to help you for the test on Friday. Tomorrow I'm not going to be here. You guys are going to do a Schoology assignment that's going to be for a grade. And whatever grade you get on that, that's probably what you're going to get on the test. Because the Schoology assignment is very similar to the test, so I really want you to try extra hard. If I get any complaints, you guys are going to be written up and parents will be called for those students who act bad.